Hello everyone, I'm Raven from Raven Comics, and today we'll do something a little different. Unlike most videos I usually upload, where we gradually tell a complete story, in this case I'll upload only an interesting fragment from Batman Beyond 2.0, Mark of the Phantasm. We begin with Barbara Gordon. She arrives to see Alfred and asks him if Tim Drake is okay. He tells her that Tim is stable. Fortunately, he's resting. Barbara asks about Leslie. Alfred tells Barbara that Dr. Tompkins left after giving Tim Drake a sedative. She doesn't know much about this, but she believes that, in time, she'll be able to extract the Joker's toxin from Tim Drake. What she does know is that right now he's suffering withdrawal from the drug. The number of doses the Joker put into Tim Drake was too many. Alfred starts to cry after remembering what happened with Tim Drake and the Joker. Later on, Barbara goes down to the Batcave. She asks Bruce when was the last time he got any sleep. Bruce doesn't say a single word to her. For Barbara, that's fine. It only makes things simpler. Just as she told him back at Arkham Asylum, she no longer wants to wear the Batgirl suit. And as for the other thing that existed between the two of them, that's over as well. Batman finally speaks to her. He's sorry Barbara feels this way, but the truth is he can't say he's surprised by what just happened. We jump to the future with Batman Beyond. Here, Terry was fighting against the Phantasm. She had come to finish off Jake Chill. Fortunately for him, Batman managed to arrive in time to defeat the Phantasm and make sure she wouldn't show up for a while. To Terry's surprise, he finds a photo of his father, Warren McGinnis. Terry asks Jake how he knew Warren McGinnis. Jake tries to make him believe he didn't know him, but having a photo of Warren here complicates things. Bruce contacts Terry and asks him to pull out. Terry doesn't want to and disables the comms with Bruce. Terry continues interrogating Jake, who, feeling the pressure, tells the truth. He worked for a security squad under Derek Powers. Terry draws the obvious conclusion. Jake Chill, Joe Chill's grandson, was the one who killed his father. Jake knows that nothing he does or says can change that. That's why he does this. He became a vigilante and uses this suit to save people. It's the closest he can get to feeling like a real person again. Before Jake can continue talking, Terry hits him hard and knocks him to the ground. Now we travel to the past. Barbara was at a Gotham City bookstore when, suddenly, Dick Grayson shows up to visit her. He came as fast as he could. The two of them just look at each other, and then they hug. Barbara tells Tim what she knows. Dr. Leslie said the first nights were the worst, but since then Tim has been making progress. It's slow, and not even a week has passed. It's going to take time to purge Tim completely of the Joker's toxin. Dick Grayson wasn't around during the Joker, Tim Drake incident because he had gone to Bloodhaven. All this time he's wondered what would have happened if he had just stayed. Though he already knows thinking like that doesn't help at all. Barbara asks Dick how long he plans to stay in Gotham City. He tells her he still has the loft, so he can stay a while and see what happens. Everything's fine with Bloodhaven, but he feels he wants to be close to the people who really matter to him. Back in the future, Bruce accesses his computer and asks it to reconnect the Batsuit's audio. Though Terry had deactivated it earlier, Batman reconnects it with no problem. Bruce regains communication with Terry. Now he asks Terry to listen. Batman isn't thinking clearly. Terry had already asked Bruce to stop bothering him. Right now, he's going to take down a killer. Before Terry can continue his assault, Bruce triggers a special command from the Batcomputer. The command sends a strong electric discharge through the Batsuit, which leaves Terry immobilized for a while. Jake Chill takes advantage of this and escapes. Later, Terry is in the Batcave. Bruce says Terry losing control was caused by the Phantasm's toxin. The toxin amplifies feelings for most people. Andrea uses it as a kind of anesthetic to dull her target's edge. Bruce used all this time to investigate Jake Chill. He found files indicating that Jake worked at Wayne Energies during the time of Terry's father's murder. It's possible Jake was telling the truth. Terry doesn't get it. Jake clearly said he pulled the trigger. Why would he lie? Terry uncovers Bruce's lies. That's why Bruce didn't want him working with the vigilante. He knew Terry would find out who he really was. Bruce denies knowing anything about Jake Chill's existence. Everything he knows about him is because of what happened tonight. Does Bruce really expect Terry to believe that Jake Chill, the grandson of the man who killed Bruce Wayne's parents, worked for Wayne Energies? Bruce tells Terry it all happened at a time when he wasn't involved with the company, and besides, he isn't in the business of tracking everyone who works at Wayne Energies. Terry tells Bruce they're not talking about everyone. They're talking about one very specific person, and they're also talking about Bruce. Bruce leaves the Batcave. He doesn't know what else Terry wants him to say. Clearly, Terry has already made up his mind. Bruce is going to withdraw, but Terry can look for him when he's willing to discuss this rationally. Later, Terry meets with Dick Grayson. Terry wants to ask him something. He wants to know what happened between Dick and Bruce. Does he really trust Bruce Wayne? Dick tells him Bruce is a liar and a manipulator whose greatest strength is convincing himself he's being selfless. Terry asks Dick again what happened between him and Bruce. Why don't they get along anymore? A little later, Dick and Terry meet with Barbara. She knows the reason they're here is to talk about the vigilante, since she's working that case too. Dick tells Barbara that Terry wants to know the truth about Bruce Wayne, but Dick knows he's not the right person to tell that story. Barbara figures he's right. Dick Grayson was in Bloodhaven when Tim Drake disappeared. Things were at a critical point, and as much as he would have liked to do something, he couldn't make it to Gotham in time. Barbara tells him no one ever blamed him for that. Dick tells Barbara that he did, and that's a big part of why he came back. It was so he could be with the people who mattered to him. We get memories of what happened. It all started slowly at first. Dinner downtown, a day at the docks, dinner at the loft. That was just the first weekend Dick and Barbara spent together. To be fair, they'd tried to be together for a long time, so it was easy for them to reunite. They were both ready for it. They were finally in the same place. They were ready to be together. In the first few weeks, while Dick was looking for an engagement ring to give Barbara, she took a pregnancy test that came back positive. Unfortunately, that was only the beginning. Later, Barbara went to see Bruce. He's surprised to see her. It had been a couple of weeks since they'd seen each other. Bruce wonders if she's here to put the Batgirl suit back on. Barbara tells him no. She thought she'd made it clear she's not interested in returning to that life. Bruce asks what brings her here, then. Barbara tells him she's here to tell him that she's pregnant, 7 weeks along. Bruce assumes he should congratulate Dick Grayson then, but Barbara tells him she and Dick have only been together for 2 weeks. Bruce asks Barbara if that changes anything between the two of them. She tells him no. Well then, Bruce asks her to be the one to tell Dick whatever she thinks is best. He doesn't want to interfere, he just wants her to be happy. Bruce turns his back on her, definitely not typical of him, offering not to get involved in something. She waited a couple more days, trying to think about how she would tell Dick Grayson. She didn't know what Dick was planning. Barbara was going to tell him about her relationship with Bruce, but on her own terms. The problem was that before she could tell Dick Grayson the truth, Batman got there first and told him. That's exactly Barbara's problem. When people are under pressure, all the promises they make to each other, all those promises fade away. That's when you really learn what someone is like. Bruce begins to tell Dick Grayson the truth. Bruce was with Barbara. Dick asks him how long they were together. Bruce says that isn't important. Dick tells him Bruce has known how he felt about her since college. Of course, the time they were together is important. While all this is happening, Barbara is walking through the city streets when she sees a family about to be robbed. Barbara steps in and, without any trouble, attacks the mugger from behind and makes him drop his gun, giving the family a chance to escape. Back with Bruce, he tells Dick that he was with Barbara when Dick left for Bloodhaven. At that point things changed, and Barbara made her decision. As hard as this is, he thought Dick should know. Before Dick did anything rash, like a proposal. Dick tells him it's not about that. This is about Bruce Wayne being unable to have something and trying to sabotage it for someone else. Well, none of this matters to Dick Grayson, because he and Barbara are happy. So Bruce Wayne has to respect Dick Grayson. If Bruce respects Barbara, they can keep him out of their lives. Bruce isn't done talking. He didn't come here to tell Dick that he had a relationship with Barbara. He came to tell him that she's pregnant. Dick can't believe what he's hearing and punches Batman hard. Meanwhile, Barbara keeps fighting the criminal in that city alley. Suddenly, something starts happening to Barbara. She feels sick and collapses to the ground. All this happens while Dick keeps hitting Bruce. Back in the future, Terry asks how the two of them managed to get past this situation. Dick tells Terry they haven't really talked, and what happened was a long time ago. Terry asks what happened to the baby. Dick and Barbara say nothing. Terry understands. This was the tragedy that made them abandon Bruce. After that, Batman kept hiding behind his mask. They all did things they now regret. Terry knows that at least the two of them can admit it. That's something Bruce will never be able to do. Suddenly, Bruce contacts Terry, The vigilante's tracking beacon just activated. It's near the Old Town Library. Terry heads out. He's going to face his father's killer. After all, he has Dick's antidote in case the Phantasm shows up and uses her toxin. Terry won't do anything he'll regret in the future. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm TJ Prime, and see you in the next video.